right, morning, folks, and welcome to another great edition of Money Truth Moments with our very own Money Truth expert and whisper, Judy Copenbarger. How are you?
Good morning. I am doing great, Carlos. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's my favorite time of the week, right? We get to start off with just great wisdom. We get to share a lot, and it's always just a fantastic way to start my Tuesday mornings. How about you?
Awesome. I agree. And it's Christmas season. So all the connections are happening, all the good stuff, the wrapping and the decorations and the lights, and so much fun. The other night, I got to tell you, the other night, I took my mom to run some Christmas errands, the top secret things. And so
Ah,
we were coming back, and the street that goes out to our private area is closed. So it's like, oh, we got to go all the way around the reservoir and all the way around. So we were driving around through all these random neighborhoods, and it was so fun. It's like it took us about an hour. It should have taken like 15 minutes, but we were driving through these neighborhoods looking at all the lights, and some of these people go all out. I mean, I don't know what their electric bill is, but wow. But it
yeah.
was so much fun, and we probably would not have done that but for that accidental reroute. So that was just kind of a nice little serendipity for the holiday season, and I love stuff like that. So Merry Christmas to you.
And right back at you. Have you seen some of the houses that have the music playing and the lights kind of sync up with the music and all that?
That's
That's like
amazing.
That's on my
They're
bucket list. At
beautiful.
some point in my life, I want to have my entire house lit up to follow a music thing like that as well too.
I
It'd be
could
really
see you doing that as techie as you are. I think you'd have a blast doing that. Yeah, those are amazing. And then you can't just drive
amazing.
by, you gotta get out and, do a little dancing. So
Yeah,
it's all good.
absolutely.
So good.
All right,
Yeah.
folks, we have a fantastic show today. Today we are talking about making sure that you have a holiday reset, simple habits to stay present and not pressured. If you haven't seen the shows previously, we've talked about everything leading up to Christmas Day. But make sure that you are following Judy at judycopenbarger.today. Watch the previous episodes. There's a lot of great content that's going to help you, not give you so much gray hairs like I have, right? Over the holidays, trying to figure out everything else that we're trying to do. So, what do you say we get started, Judy?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Okay, so we both know that this time of year moves very fast, right? So, why do so many people feel like they are just trying to keep up or breathe?
Well, because they are. There's a lot to do. This time of year, we're shopping and we're wrapping and we're doing all the normal things we normally have to do. But if you've got kids in school, it's finals time. If you've got kids in college, it's finals time. It's also the time that a lot of the sports seasons, fall sports are wrapping up. So you have all that stuff that we regularly do, busy time, and you add some holidays to it. And at some houses like ours, you add a bunch of birthdays to it too. So and then there's travel. People are planning for travel. They've got family coming in. They're getting the house ready, blowing up the beds. All the things you do. It can be a lot. It can be a lot.
So, folks always talk about reset, right? They throw the word out, I'm going to reset, reset, reset. But what does a holiday reset really mean? And why is it so needed right now?
Well, a reset happens, anytime you need it. When you're just, you're kind of in that place of overwhelm or you're kind of in a pit. It's like, I'm not energized. If the life events are sucking the life out of you, you need a reset. It's time to refocus. So it might be a mental reset that you need. It might be just the power of your words reset. It might be um, maybe a physical reset. Maybe physically you're just tired. You're staying up late and you're thinking about things that, are not normally on your list. And it could be just a mindset shift that you need. It might just be a nap that you need, right? Or just, a day off, a day away. One of our sons is not very, he doesn't get energy from social situations. I do, he doesn't, and we're all built differently. But last week we had a big family weekend, and then he had 4 days in conference. So it was the kind of conference where every hour you sit with a new person and talk to them and chat, chat, chat. And so before, after, at the hotel, all that stuff, he was just like, if he normally talks to maybe 10 people a week, that's a big week. And he probably talked to 500 people. Then we had another
Wow.
big family weekend. And so we were out and doing things. And he's just like, I'm done socially. I just need quiet. I just need to not look at anybody, not think about anything, not answer any questions. And I was kind of in that same place. I just needed to reset yesterday. So it was kind of a big reset day in the afternoon around here. But we all just have been busy going, and there's parties and there's entertainment and there's family over and there's shopping and extra things, extra errands and things like that. It's a good time to think about resetting. And if you don't have a reset planned in your schedule, I encourage you to do that. We learned many years ago, probably 20 years ago, we like to take, trips and cruises and things like that. And we were on a cruise, and I think it was one of the European ones where you do Rome and you do, the tower that goes like that. Florence. Is that Florence? Anyway,
Yeah.
all those places. And every day is like an epic place that you just want to do, like a whole city or a whole countryside or a whole country in one day. And it's like, oh, I got to do it all. And, if you have, 10, 15, 20 days of doing it all and never take a rest day, it's like, you don't even care. I don't care. I don't care to see another castle. I don't care to see another cathedral. I'm just done. Just feed me and put me to bed. And so what we did was we said, we can always come because you feel like it's a bucket list. You'll never come back, but you can. So we now every time we travel, we take a day or half a day, depending on the length of the trip and how physical it is, and we take a break. And I think holidays, you can do the same thing. It's like we don't have to say yes to every party. And if it's overwhelmed for you or you need a reset, it's kind of like financial planning. You say yes to all these things, but almost more importantly are the things that you say no to. Stop doing that. It's not serving you well. And maybe we need to stop and plan around the holidays time where we just say, no, thank you. Maybe I'll attend that next year. Please invite me again. Or we want to get together with everybody, but can we do ours in late January? Can we do ours in March? Why does it have to be Christmas week? Right? Why does everybody have to be Christmas week? Let's just say, great, we love you, and we'll see you soon when we can really focus and spend time and not be exhausted when we're doing it. That's possible. So that just takes a little planning, right?
No, absolutely. I think you hit it exactly with all of these parties, all of these events too. I mean, I'll tell you that in the last couple of weeks it has been the same for me. It's like, when do you say no? And it's actually, this is the first time I think I've actually said no to a few things because it's, from the moment you start, keep going and all these parties and stuff, it's just, man, you just get drained very quickly, which actually leads me to my next question for you. And is, what are some of these common habits or patterns that cause people to burn out, especially during the holidays?
Well, I think the habit is saying yes to everything for some people. Yes, yes, of course, of course, of course I can bring a dish. Of course I can show up early and help decorate. Of course I can. Yes, 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 yes. And I think that's where you really have to get to the point. If you're in that place where, I just need to say no, thank you for thinking of me. Would love to do that. Another time would be great. And it's not always no. It's kind of like God does that to us, right? It's not always no. Sometimes it's wait, or sometimes it's another time. It's a timing thing. So I think that's important to think about. Maybe, maybe another time or another event or another, occasion. Would love to do that. Thank you for thinking of me. Right? That's possible.
What would you say also, as you're talking about this too, you have folks that are sometimes they're on autopilot, right? They don't really think about what they're doing and what they're not doing, right? So how can someone actually reset their emotional and financial energy when they feel, especially when they feel exhausted?
Ooh, I like that term, financial energy. I might borrow that from you. Financial energy. Yeah. The reset of all that. It's just what I was talking about. Sometimes it's a mental reset. It's about your mind, just getting your mind on right. And what's it really for? Just refocusing. Why are we here? Why are we doing this? Why am I going there? Why are they coming over? Right? Refocusing on that. It's about connection and celebration and tradition and all the things that we love about the holidays. It's about that. But financially, same thing. We've been talking the last few weeks coming up to this holiday season about the financial preparation, the planning that can go into it. But if you find yourself in a place where the planning hasn't helped or it wasn't enough and it's like, oh, ouch, this is really painful. I feel the pressure, to buy the gifts and to do the things and to use the credit cards that I really don't want to. Why not reset that? Why not have discipline around that and shift that financial energy? Love that term. Shift that financial energy to something positive and resulting in an outcome that you're really happy with. Not like, oh, I did it again. I overspent again. And here we are in January with that credit statement, right? It's like, oh, shoot. But that can be shifted. It just takes a little bit of intention. And again, it's saying yes to some things, saying no to some things, and having an outcome in mind. It kind of all starts, with the mindset for sure.
So thinking back at some of the folks that you have helped over the years, right? Can you share some simple mindset shifts and maybe give us an example of what they've gone through that helps bring that clarity and that calm like very quickly when you need it?
Oh, of course. Yeah, we do a lot of work with our clients with goal setting and with gratitude. So goal setting, what do we want, the outcome to look like? How do we want to shift, the path that we're on? Is there a course correction we need to make? That's the future. And then we look at the past and we're grateful for where we are now. We're even grateful for the mistakes that we've made. That takes a little doing. That takes a little, I kind of am a counselor at some points, with you spent too much. Well, you didn't make enough. Well, it's like that, blaming each other, the shame thing and blaming. But we also work with the past and just having gratitude for where you are, what you've learned, what you've come through, what you know more, better, different to do, right? What your parents did maybe that didn't work financially, so all that stuff. So we're even grateful for the regrets that we have. We're grateful for the mistakes. We're grateful for the missteps. We're grateful for the learning that comes from sometimes tough lessons. But we're grateful for where we are, that we have a reason to be financially planning. Most people are planning because there's a cause they care about, because there's family that they love. They have good reasons to do well and to take their lives to the next level financially. So that's a good thing. So gratefulness, gratitude, the gratitude journals and things like that. We spend a lot of time with our clients really working on that mindset. Well, if you have a past that you're grateful for and a future that you're hopeful for, that really optimizes you right now. So now we have good reason, good purpose to do the things that we're doing and to create that task list and knock it out and actually be proactive in the activities that we're doing, right? Financially. But every area of life is the same. You can be purposeful in your mindset, purposeful in your pacing yourself so you don't burn out in the holidays, making sure that you have everything in place that you need. So that's all I have to say about that. It's a lot. Future, past, that really helps us set for the present. Did I answer your question?
You absolutely did. And before I move on to my next question, folks, thank you for watching today. Please make sure that you are following Judy at judycopenbarger.today. Make sure you watch the previous episodes. There's a lot of great content for you guys to also live this season, stress-free, basically. There's a lot of great tips and stuff that Judy has shared before, too. One of the things that you've talked about before, though, too, is that as we're dealing with this stress, you talked about gratitude, right? You talked about giving as well, too. So how do we change that mindset to that stress level to something that's more meaningful, like giving back in different nonprofits or different volunteer work? Because it's not happy times for a lot of folks. A lot of folks are very lonely and all that. So I'd like for you to maybe talk a little bit more about that too and remind folks.
Yeah, it's a great time of year to really reach out, look around you, and realize not everybody's really happy this time of year. Maybe they've incurred a loss. Maybe they, can't afford the Christmas tree that they like to get. Maybe they're having a hard time figuring out how to make it special, a special time for their kids. Financially or otherwise. If they're emotionally in a rough spot. So it's a good time to reach around, and there are a lot of needs, a lot of ways to really serve people and help others. I think that helps a lot with the perspective that we have. Well, look what we have, and look what we have to offer and what we can do to help other people. And that sometimes is more fun. The joy of giving, it's kind of true. The happiest people on the planet that we know are people that are really big givers, not just at Christmas time. All the time. They just always find a need, help other people, share what they have, even if they don't have a lot. They're happy to just have an open hand, be open-handed and share with other people. So I think great time of year to reflect that. Any time of year is a good time to reflect that. But this time of year, you see a lot of good people with good hearts making a difference.
This year marks year 18. There's folks here at a place called the Colonies where they bring in kids that are underserved also, and they get to they give them a $200 thing. So we have to chaperone, and you have kids from all ages, right? And it's amazing to me and it's a great reminder that even these little kids who are maybe one of four, or depending on the family size, they always think about their siblings, the little ones. So they may be about 4 or 5 years old themselves, but when you're going shopping with them, and you have PD, you have a fire department, everybody's involved, right? But you hear them also like, I want to do this for my little sister, or I want to buy this for my, for my little brother or whatever. And so it's always to remind them, and
Right.
it's awesome to see that they want to give, at that young age, but also it's a reminder that today is all about you, making it about you. And that concept is also, it's tugs at your heart, because especially when you have that purity, and it's like an example where we also want to remind adults, if kids can do this, so can we, and we'd be in a better spot all around, and that's something I know you've talked about before. So let me ask you then, how can we all in this year with more peace, more gratitude, and more focus?
I think just expecting that, kind of leaning into that, creating those times that are about the connection, are about peace and gratitude and calm and purposefulness. I think it's just leaning into that and just every day with intentionality, sharing that. And there's a lot of power to our words. Sometimes we think, pray, pray, pray. It's all in our head, but we really need to use our words. They're powerful. And maybe every day out loud, create what the day is for you. Here's the outcome that I want today. Here's who I want to connect with. Here's what I want to get completed. Here are my tasks, what your to-do list, whatever it is. At the end of the day, I want to just take a deep breath and say, that was the best day ever because blank, blank, blank. But you set your day up for success. You have intentionality about it. The things you're doing are proactive, not reactive. You're not just reacting to emails. You're not reacting to what came in the mail. You're not reacting to whatever all the requests are of you and the demands are of you. You're actually being proactive in getting those things done, whether it's phone calls or emails or Christmas cards or whatever it is, getting those things done that really make your life what you want it to be. So at the end of the day, you're just like, yes, that was a good one. Let's do it again tomorrow. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And folks, we've always said in these last several episodes, time flies when you're having fun, and we are at the tail end of the show, so you know what that means. It's our money through truth, and I'm going to say reset challenge today, right?
Reset.
Reset.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What do you
Reset.
got for us?
Reset.
Well, I would say paper. Let's get three things down on paper. One is the mindset shift that you can make, one little mind shift that will change the outcome of what's happening in your life. What will make it better, more better, different. So a mindset would be one thing I'd write down. The second one is a physical shift. What's one physical thing you could do? Do you need to take a walk? Do you need to get fresh air? Do you need to shut your eyes in the middle of the day for a few minutes? What do you need to do? You need to get to the gym because you're being too busy to get to the gym. Is it something you need to do with nutrition? Do you need to drink more water? Are you getting enough sleep? Just one simple, single, doable thing that you can do to make your life better physically. And I'd say the last thing is say something out loud. Tell some other human being who is taking breath one thing that you want to do more, better, different, or make the intention every morning to tell somebody, call somebody or tell somebody in your house, here's my biggest nugget today. This is what I'm going to get done. It's going to be epic. So the mind, the mouth, the physical body. 3 things every day that you can do to make a difference. So at the end of the holiday season, you have not experienced this burnout thing, right? We don't want you having this, oh, I wish I hadn't overdone it again. I wish I wasn't pressured, but present, during the holidays. That's the outcome that we want. So there's your challenge.
That's a great challenge. Folks, if you have any questions, please let us know. We would love to be able to answer some of that. And also, I'm going to remind you, we have an upcoming year, 26. If you have topics that you'd like Judy to cover as well, too, please do so and follow her at judycopenbarger.today. With that said, Judy, any last parting words?
No, but I just thought, what am I going to do for my challenge? As you were speaking, I was like, what am I going to do? What I'm going to do for the physical one is go out this morning and say hello to my chickens. The last 2 days, I didn't see them until afternoon. And this morning, I'm going to go say hello because chicken time fills me up. That kind of resets my day. That's what I'm going to do. So you all have a wonderful day. Enjoy the Christmas season. We're almost there. And God bless.
And I will say, at some point or another, we have to do a show with the chickens for sure. That would be an
Yeah,
awesome show.
they would
So I
love
think.
that. They'd love it.
All right, folks. Until next week, don't forget we are here every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. with the replay on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Until then, take care and be safe.